Jalen stepped onto the wide training ground of the Zephyr Academy, his heart beating fast. Around him, the alien students moved confidently, their bright scales glinting under the soft light of the artificial sky. Each of them carried an aura of pride. They had been training for years to master their fear beasts, creatures that embodied the deepest fears of their masters. Jalen was different. He was the only human in the class and he had no idea what to expect. The instructor, a tall being with 4 glowing eyes, raised its hand. Today you will release your fear beast. Show your courage and control. Remember, your beast reflects your soul. Fear it and it will dominate you. Trust it and it will follow you. Jalen's stomach twisted. He had trained quietly, learning everything he could about fear beasts, but he had never seen one in person. Most of the alien students whispered and chuckled among themselves. The human, one said, what can he even do? Jalen ignored them and focused on the center of the ground. A small, glowing circle appeared before him, swirling with blue light. His hands shook as he stepped closer. He closed his eyes and thought about his fear, the fear of being weak, of being ignored, of failing. He held it tightly in his mind. A deep rumble filled the air. From the circle, a shadow began to emerge. The alien students' beasts were huge and terrifying, roaring with fire and electricity. Jalen's fear grew, but he kept his focus. Slowly his own fear beast took shape. It was smaller than the others, not fierce or loud, just a soft, shivering shape of light. The alien students laughed. Look at that, one shouted. It's barely even a beast. Jalen's face burned with shame, but he didn't move. He reached out with his mind, trying to connect. I'm not afraid, he whispered to himself. I can do this. The creature wobbled, unsure, and then it blinked at him. Its eyes were gentle, full of curiosity. It stepped forward slowly, hesitating at first, then curled its small, trembling body around Jalen's feet. The alien students fell silent, surprised by the unexpected behavior. Jalen knelt down, letting the creature rest against him. He felt a warmth in his chest. This was different from what he had imagined. The beast did not roar or growl. It seemed calm, almost trusting. Jalen reached out a hand and it leaned into him, pressing its soft form against his leg. He had never felt this connection before. Interesting, the instructor said, its voice echoing across the ground. Human, your beast is small but responsive. Observe how it reacts to your emotion, not your strength. Remember this lesson. Jalen felt a mixture of relief and pride. For the first time, he felt that maybe being human had its own advantages. The alien students' beasts towered and threatened, but their masters struggled to control them. Jalen's beast was gentle, but it listened. It trusted him. The rest of the class released their beasts fully, creating a storm of noise, light, and power. Some beasts roared and stomped, others hissed and shook. The ground vibrated with their energy. Jalen held his beast close, keeping calm. He could feel its small heartbeat against his own, its presence steadying him. One of the alien students, a tall one with silver scales, approached and sneered. Your beast is useless. How do you even call that a fear beast? Jalen looked up calmly. Maybe it's not about being scary, he said quietly. Maybe it's about trust. The silver-scaled student scoffed but walked away. Jalen's heart raced, not from fear but from something new, confidence. He looked down at his beast, which now rested comfortably, blinking at him with soft light. Somehow he knew that together they could face the challenges ahead. As the sun of the artificial sky dipped toward the horizon, Jalen realized something. The day had started with fear, with doubt, with the weight of being different. But now he had a small companion who believed in him. That was stronger than any roar, any fire, any show of power. The other students continued their exercises, but Jalen paid little attention. He focused on the gentle rhythm of his beast, feeling a strange sense of peace. For the first time he understood what the instructor had meant. Control was not about domination. It was about connection. When the instructor finally called the class to an end, Jalen remained kneeling, his beast still curled beside him. He could hear whispers from the other students, some mocking, some curious. But he did not care. He had found something rare, something that could not be measured by size or strength. As the sky dimmed and the lights of the academy glowed softly, Jalen looked at his beast and smiled. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but tonight he had won a small victory. He had faced his fear and discovered something incredible. Even a human in a world of powerful aliens could command respect, not through fear but through trust. And so, as the fear beasts roared and flared around the training ground, the small creature beside Jalen curled tighter and let out a quiet, contented sigh. For the first time, both human and beast slept peacefully in a world that had seemed so vast and intimidating. The next morning, the training ground was alive with tension. The alien students gathered, their fear beasts already visible in shimmering forms, each larger and more terrifying than the last. Jalen stood at the edge, his small beast hovering near him. It glimmered softly, not roaring or thrashing like the others. Some students whispered behind their claws. "Look at the human's beast again. It's barely moving." Jalen ignored them. He focused on his own heartbeat, steadying himself. The instructor's voice echoed across the ground. "Today you will fully release your fear beast. Show your mastery. Let your fears guide you, but do not let them control you." A sudden pulse ran through the ground, and the portals beneath each student shimmered. Jalen felt a mix of excitement and fear. He had practiced, but now it was real. All around him, beasts emerged fully from the light. Some were enormous, their scales like blades of steel. Others breathed fire, spouted lightning, or roared so loudly the ground trembled. The aliens' beasts surged forward, moving with power and aggression. Their master struggled to guide them. Jalen felt his palms sweat, but he breathed deeply and looked down at his own beast. It floated calmly in front of him, small and fragile compared to the others. Its soft glow seemed to pulse in rhythm with his heartbeat. A tall alien with gold-tinted scales stepped closer to Jalen, smirking. "Do you even know what you are doing, human? That thing is useless." Jalen did not answer. He focused on the connection he had felt yesterday. He whispered to the beast, "I trust you. You trust me. That is enough." Slowly, the beast moved closer, circling his feet before resting its tiny trembling body against his legs. Its glow grew a little stronger. The instructor raised a clawed hand. "Begin the exercise." Immediately, the other students' beasts charged. Fire and lightning cut through the air. The ground shook as massive claws slammed down. Many students struggled to control their creatures, shouting commands or waving their hands frantically. Some beasts grew wild, their fear feeding off the fear of their masters. Jalen remained calm. He stood still, letting his beast settle beside him. A strange sensation ran through him, a warmth, a quiet strength he had never felt before. The other students watched in disbelief as the human's small, gentle beast did nothing aggressive. Instead, it mirrored his calm, moving smoothly and softly in response to his thoughts. Then the real test came. A simulated threat, created by the instructor, emerged from the shadows. It was a mechanical creature designed to attack the students' beasts. The massive beasts of the aliens roared and charged blindly, some colliding with each other. Chaos erupted. Jalen took a deep breath and whispered again to his beast. "Stay with me. Watch me. Protect me." The little creature lifted itself slightly, glowing brighter. It moved between Jalen and the mechanical threat, hissing softly. Though small, its movements were precise and controlled. The mechanical attacker lunged, but the beast dodged and blocked, guiding it away from Jalen without a sound of struggle. The aliens froze. None of their beasts had reacted with such balance. Most had relied on strength, causing chaos. Jalen's beast, though tiny, acted with intelligence, instinct, and loyalty. It moved like it understood him completely. The gold-scaled student frowned. It's actually controlling it?" Jalen nodded slightly. "Not controlling. Connecting." The mechanical threat eventually retreated, confused by the human and his small beast. The instructor's eyes glowed in approval. "Notice, class, that mastery does not come from size or power alone. True mastery comes from understanding and trust." Jalen felt a surge of pride. For the first time, he realized that being human gave him a different kind of strength. He did not need massive power or frightening displays. He only needed connection, focus, and courage. The other students' beasts roared and raged, but Jalen's beast remained calm, circling him protectively. Some students whispered in awe. Maybe the human is special." Others muttered doubts, unwilling to admit it aloud. The exercise ended, and the beasts returned to their dormant states. The giant and terrifying creatures of the aliens shrank back into their portals, leaving behind a trail of smoke and sparks. Jalen's small beast curled up beside him, its glow soft and steady. It pressed against him like it was saying, "I am with you." The instructor spoke again, its voice calm but firm. "Today we have seen the difference between fear-driven power and bond-driven strength. Remember this. Strength is not always obvious. Sometimes it is quiet, loyal, and steady." Jalen looked around at the class. The whispers of doubt had faded into silence, replaced by curiosity and respect. He smiled faintly, feeling a new confidence building inside him. He had faced the test not with aggression or force but with trust. As the sun of the artificial sky began to dip, casting long shadows across the training ground, Jalen knelt down, letting his beast rest fully against him. Its glow pulsed softly, a quiet heartbeat that matched his own. Around him, chaos had erupted, but he had found calm. He had proven something important, that even a small, gentle beast could be powerful if it had trust and understanding. For the first time, Jalen felt that he truly belonged at the academy. Not because he was like the others but because he had something different, something even the strongest alien students could not claim. And so, as the other students left the training ground, their beasts shrinking back into dormancy, Jalen remained with his small, loyal companion. It curled up beside him, glowing softly in the fading light, and let out a quiet, contented sigh. Jalen rested his hand on its back, smiling. Tomorrow would bring more challenges, but he knew that together, he and his beast could face anything. The morning air was crisp and the training ground was quieter than usual. Most of the alien students were still recovering from yesterday's chaotic exercise. Jalen sat cross-legged, his small fear beast curled beside him, its glow soft and steady. Unlike the other students who were obsessed with size and power, Jalen focused on understanding his companion. He reached out slowly, feeling the beast's warmth. "You're calm today," he whispered. "I like that." The creature blinked at him, tilting its small head. It seemed to sense his emotions, reading his heart without words. Jalen smiled. He had never experienced anything like this. None of the alien students could understand this type of bond. They treated their beasts like weapons, tools to show dominance. But Jalen's beast wasn't a weapon. It was a friend, a partner. The instructor appeared, floating slightly above the ground, its glowing eyes scanning the class. "Today you will explore the bond with your fear beast. True mastery is not in aggression or fear. It is in understanding. Learn to communicate without commands, to act without force." Jalen nodded, feeling a rush of determination. He looked around at the alien students. Most of them sneered at his small beast, whispering behind their claws. "The human will fail again," one muttered. But Jalen ignored them. He had learned something more important. Fear and power were not everything. He closed his eyes and focused, reaching out with his mind. His beast responded immediately, leaning closer, glowing brighter. Its tiny body vibrated with energy, not wild or aggressive but alive and aware. Jalen realized that their connection was mutual. The beast trusted him because he trusted it. That trust was stronger than any roar, any display of force. "Let us begin," the instructor said. A soft chime rang through the air, and holographic targets appeared around the field. Each student was to guide their fear beast through the targets using only thought and intuition, no commands. The goal was precision and harmony, not destruction. The alien students' beasts surged forward immediately, charging recklessly. Many collided, their enormous forms toppling over obstacles. Shouts and growls filled the air as students struggled to regain control. Jalen stayed calm. He focused on the rhythm of his beast's movements. It floated gracefully beside him, circling around the targets with ease. Each movement felt natural, effortless. The beast seemed to anticipate his thoughts, moving as one with him. A tall alien student with dark green scales approached, glaring. "You're moving too slowly, human. Your beast will never compete." Jalen shook his head slightly. "It's not about competing," he replied softly. "It's about understanding." The green-scaled alien scoffed but watched as Jalen and his beast navigated the targets perfectly. Unlike the others, there were no crashes, no chaos. Every move was controlled, balanced, and precise. The beast's glow pulsed with Jalen's heartbeat, brightening as it completed each target. Then came a sudden twist. The instructor activated a challenge, a simulated storm with strong winds and sudden flashes of light. Most of the alien beasts panicked, thrashing wildly, struggling to maintain control. Their masters shouted, tried to push them back, but the chaos only grew. Jalen held his ground. He focused on his breathing, on the connection he shared with his beast. The small creature pressed close to him, its glow steady despite the swirling lights. It followed his lead, dodging flashes, gliding smoothly through the storm. Jalen realized that their bond gave them something no raw strength could: calm and clarity. The other students paused, staring. None of their beasts had moved with such precision or understanding. Jalen's small companion, who had been ridiculed, had become a symbol of control through trust. The storm subsided and the holographic obstacles vanished. The instructor's voice rang across the ground, calm but firm. "Observe, class. Strength alone does not make mastery. A bond, a connection, and understanding can achieve more than aggression. The human demonstrates what many fail to see. Fear tamed is power, but trust multiplied is true strength. Jalen felt a wave of pride but did not boast. He knelt down, letting his beast rest fully against him. It blinked at him with soft light, pressing its small body into his palm. He had discovered something rare. Empathy, patience, and understanding could achieve what brute force could not. Around him, whispers spread among the alien students. Some were impressed but hid it behind scoffs. Others frowned, uncomfortable with the lesson. But a few looked thoughtful, realizing that perhaps they had misunderstood what mastery meant. Jalen did not care about their opinions. He had learned something more important. As the training session ended, the students began to leave. Jalen stayed for a moment, looking down at his small, loyal companion. "We did well," he whispered. "Tomorrow we'll do even better." The beast let out a soft, contented sigh, curling closer against him. For the first time, Jalen felt truly confident. He had faced fear not with aggression or dominance, but with connection and understanding. And he had discovered that even in a world filled with powerful aliens and terrifying beasts, humanity's strength lay not in size or force, but in courage, empathy, and trust. The artificial sun of the academy's sky began to set, casting long, soft shadows across the training ground. Jalen remained kneeling, his beast curled beside him, both glowing softly. Around them, chaos had erupted earlier, but here, in this small corner of the world, there was peace. And as Jalen rested his hand on the gentle form of his beast, he realized something incredible. Even a small, quiet bond could shine brighter than the loudest roar. Even a human, in a world of towering aliens, could teach a lesson in courage and understanding that no force could match. The next day, the Academy's training ground was filled with a tense, electric energy. The instructor's voice rang across the field, echoing in every corner. "Today you will face the final trial. Your fear beasts will be tested under pressure. Only those who have true control and connection will succeed." Jalen stood at the edge, his small beast curled beside him, its soft glow steady. Around him, the alien students prepared. Their fear beasts towered over the ground, scales glinting, teeth bared, claws sharp. The air was thick with anticipation. Most of the students muttered confidently, certain that only size and aggression would win the challenge. Jalen took a deep breath. He felt his beast press against his leg, sensing his calm. "We can do this," he whispered. The creature blinked at him, tilting its head slightly. Its soft glow pulsed with his heartbeat. This trial was not just about strength. It was about trust. The instructor activated the test. Holographic attackers appeared from every side. They were fast, unpredictable, and dangerous. Many of the alien students' beasts roared and charged immediately. Chaos erupted. Massive claws struck the ground, fire and electricity lit the field, and the smaller students struggled to maintain control. Jalen stayed calm. He focused on the rhythm of his own beast. It moved smoothly around him, dodging the holographic attackers without fear. Unlike the other beasts, which relied on brute force, his beast relied on understanding, following his lead with precision. Jalen whispered instructions in his mind, not with commands but with feeling. One of the larger beasts lunged toward him, flames spraying from its mouth. The alien student shouted, trying to control it, but it was too late. The human small beast moved quickly, positioning itself between Jalen and the attack. With a swift, graceful motion, it deflected the attack, nudging the mechanical enemy away. The alien students stared in disbelief. Their beasts were loud, strong, and dangerous, but often uncontrollable. Jalen's small, gentle beast acted calmly and efficiently. Every move seemed measured, perfect, and in sync with him. He felt a surge of pride. This was what connection looked like, true mastery, not fear. Suddenly, a second wave of attackers appeared. They came faster and from unexpected directions. The alien students panicked, shouting commands and waving their hands frantically. Many of their beasts collided, creating chaos. Some students even fell to the ground, trying to escape their own creatures. Jalen did not flinch. He closed his eyes for a moment and reached out to his beast. It responded immediately, moving around him in a protective circle. It anticipated every attack, nudging each holographic foe away without harming them, guiding them safely past him. The other students watched in awe. They had never seen a fear beast act with such intelligence and loyalty. A silver-scaled alien approached, sneering. "Your beast is tiny. It can't even fight." Jalen shook his head calmly. "It doesn't need to fight," he replied. "It protects, it understands. That's strength." The silver-scaled student frowned but had no answer. Around them, chaos continued, but Jalen and his beast moved together in harmony. Every attack was met with precise defense. Every danger was avoided with careful guidance. The beast's glow grew brighter as it worked with Jalen, a symbol of trust and courage. After what felt like hours, the final wave of holographic attackers vanished. The other students' beasts collapsed, exhausted, some panting, some sparking uncontrollably. Jalen's small beast floated beside him, glowing softly, calm and unshaken. The instructor's voice filled the field. "Observe, class. Today you have seen the difference between fear-driven strength and bond-driven mastery. Many of you relied on power and aggression, but only one has shown true control through connection. The human demonstrates what few understand. Trust, empathy, and courage can surpass brute force." Jalen felt a wave of pride but stayed humble. He knelt down, letting his beast curl against him, its soft glow reflecting in his eyes. Around him, whispers began to spread. Some students were shocked, unable to hide their respect. Others frowned, embarrassed to admit it. But the lesson was clear. Strength was not only in size or power, it was in the heart. One of the green-scaled aliens stepped forward cautiously. I underestimated you," he said. Jalen nodded politely. "It's not about being stronger than anyone else. It's about understanding your companion and yourself." The rest of the class watched quietly. The energy on the field had shifted. Fear and arrogance were replaced with curiosity and thoughtfulness. For the first time, they saw humanity's unique strength: courage, empathy, and the ability to connect deeply, even in a world of terrifying power. As the sun of the artificial sky dipped toward the horizon, Jalen stayed kneeling with his beast curled beside him. The chaos of the training ground faded into quiet. The other students left slowly, some glancing back with newfound respect. Jalen looked down at his small companion. "We did it," he whispered. The beast let out a soft sigh, pressing closer against him. Together they had passed the greatest test yet, not through raw strength but through trust, understanding, and calm courage. And in that moment, Jalen realized something extraordinary. Even in a world of massive, powerful aliens, a human could rise not by fighting harder, but by connecting deeper. His heart swelled with pride and hope. Tomorrow would bring more challenges, but today he and his small beast had shown what true mastery really meant. The morning air was calm and the training ground felt different. There was no chaos, no roaring or flashing of powers. Today was a day of reflection, a day to recognize what had been learned. Jalen stood quietly, his small beast curled beside him, glowing softly. Its light pulsed with his heartbeat, steady and warm. Around him, the alien students moved hesitantly, still thinking about the trial from yesterday. The instructor hovered above the field, 4 glowing eyes fixed on the class. "You have seen what mastery truly is," it said. "Not size, not power, not fear. True mastery comes from connection, trust, and understanding. Observe and learn." Many of the alien students avoided looking at Jalen at first. Some were still skeptical. But slowly their curiosity grew. They had seen their own beasts crash and thrash under stress. They had seen Jalen's small companion move with calm precision, protecting its master without aggression. Some of them whispered, "Perhaps the human is different. Perhaps he understands something we do not." Jalen knelt on the ground, his beast pressing against his leg. Its soft glow brightened as he reached out to it. "You did so well," he whispered. "I'm proud of you." The creature blinked at him, a soft warmth radiating from its tiny body. It seemed almost proud of him too. They had grown together and their bond was stronger than ever. The instructor raised a clawed hand. "Class, approach the human and his fear beast. Observe their bond. Learn how trust and courage work together." One by one the alien students stepped closer. Some still looked unsure but they watched carefully. Jalen stayed calm, letting his beast move freely beside him. It did not growl, it did not attack. It simply followed his lead, gentle, intelligent, and loyal. A silver-scaled alien stepped forward first. "I never believed a human could master a fear beast," he admitted quietly. "But now I see, your connection is stronger than our raw power." Jalen smiled softly. "It's not about being stronger than anyone else. It's about understanding each other. That's all." The silver-scaled alien nodded, his expression thoughtful. Another alien, this one with gold-tinted scales, approached cautiously. I wish I could control my beast like that," he muttered. "It's always out of control no matter what I do." Jalen looked at him. "Try connecting with it. Trust it. Don't force it. You might be surprised what it can do." Slowly the atmosphere began to change. The class, which had laughed at him and doubted him, now looked with respect. They could see that Jalen's quiet courage, his empathy, and his patience had allowed him to achieve something no amount of strength could. The instructor spoke again. Today the lesson is complete. You have learned that mastery is not domination. It is cooperation. Not fear but trust. The human demonstrates that even in a world of giants and fire, empathy and courage can surpass raw strength. Jalen felt a warmth in his chest. He had never sought recognition, but he realized now that his actions had made a difference. The other students were not just respecting him, they were learning from him. As the sun of the artificial sky began to set, the students began to leave, their beasts returning to dormancy. Jalen remained kneeling, his small companion curled against him, glowing softly. He looked down and whispered, "We did it. We showed them who we are." The beast let out a quiet, contented sigh, pressing closer. Its trust was complete and so was his. Together they had faced fear, chaos, and doubt. Together they had shown that humanity's strength was not in size or power, but in courage, empathy, and understanding. A few alien students lingered, watching. One of them, the tall green-scaled student who had doubted him from the start, finally spoke. "I see now. We were wrong. Fear is not what makes a beast strong. Understanding is." Jalen nodded. "Exactly. That's the secret. Strength isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's gentle. But it is always there, in those who have courage and trust." The instructor's voice filled the field one last time. "Remember this lesson. Let it guide you in all trials to come. The human has shown the path. Learn it well." Jalen leaned back slightly, letting the gentle glow of his beast wash over him. The field was quiet now, peaceful. For the first time he felt completely at home in the academy. Not because he was like everyone else but because he had embraced who he was, and in doing so had shown everyone else a new way to be strong. As the sky shifted from gold to soft violet, the human and his small fear beast rested together. The beast curled completely around him, soft and warm. Its glow dimmed as it slept, trusting him completely. And Jalen, tired but proud, leaned his head down gently, closing his eyes. In a world of fear, chaos, and towering power, he had discovered a truth bigger than any beast. Respect is earned through courage and connection. And so, with the academy around them silent, human and beast slept peacefully, ready for whatever tomorrow might bring. Together, they had shown that even a human could shine brightly in a universe built for giants.